Hey guys, it's Miss Delcambre. Today's Thursday, October 22nd, and here's a rundown of what we are doing today. So you'll need your journal, blue pencil, and the handout. The handout is the ratio chart. It's entitled Multiplication and Division Worksheet. It has little ratio tables, and it's talking about gum. So that's why it says gum sticks for notes. So we're going to go over Builder 8, a little part on that, QOTD, question of the day, and then we're going to check our homework, do ratio table notes, and then I'll play a brain pop video, and then your homework will be just like what we're doing with our ratio tables. Okay, and the question of the day from the questioning committee was, would you rather read people's minds or talk to animals? So my middle block was split down the middle. About that. However, in my last hour, most people chose talk to animals. So see what you thought it would be. Let me minimize this.
Tristan Brown, the parent pickup.
And get my hover cam out. So go ahead and get out Builder 8. Here's Builder 8. I'm going to lock it in so it won't focus all the time. There we go. And we're going to do, since we haven't done any of the FDP. So the fraction decimal percent. And I'm going to do this bottom row right here. So 4/5 is 8/10, which is 80%. 4/10, which is 4/10, which is 40%. 5/5, give me one moment. For some reason, it did not lock. Which is 1 whole, which is 100%.
Aiden Martinez, parent pickup.
And 5/10, which is 5/10, which is 50%. Just 50%. Okay. Now, on the back.
Aubrey Milstead, the parent pickup.
Give it a minute, sorry. On the back, here's our question of the day. So we needed to simplify or reduce these fractions. So we have 4 fractions, 16/18, 28/42, 30/54, and 50/27. So if I'm looking, I want to simplify, I want to reduce to the simplest terms. So what number can both go into 16 and 18? Well, let's start off with a 2. All right. 16 can go into 2. I'm sorry, 2 can go into 16 8 times. And 2 can go into 18 9 times.
All remaining car riders.
So my answer would be 8/9. My answer would be 8/9. I'm going to come down here. So 30/54, if I know my multiplication facts, I know 6 times 5 gives me 30. And 6 times 9 gives me 54. So simplest form would be 5/9, would be 5/9. Okay, I'm going to come over here, 28/42. Well, 28 and 42 are both multiples of 7, so I'm going to take out a 7, divide them both by 7, and I get 4/6. 4/6 are both even numbers, so I can take out a 2, divide it both by 2, which will give me 2/3. 2/3 is my answer. Finally, we have 15/27. Well, I know my multiple, what times what gives me 15 is 5 times 3. And 27 is 3 times 9. So they both have 3 in common. I'm going to divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. And 27 divided by 3 gives me 9. So I duplicated this fraction. Okay? So that is our question of the day. We've done our builder. So let's go and check our homework. Let's go in and check our homework. So we had our ratio tables, our ratio questions here. All right, so I'm going to use this table over here to answer these questions and set up a ratio 3 different ways. Remember, we set it up with a colon, the word 2, and then set it up as a fraction. So lions to elephants. Well, lions is 9, elephants is 12, so it's a 9/12 ratio, and I'm writing this in 3 different ways. 9/12 and 9/12. All right, we're looking at giraffes and otters. Giraffes is 8, otters is 16. So it's an 8:16 ratio. 8:16 and 8/16 as a fraction. Number 3, we have lions and seals. Lions is 9, seals is 10, so that's a 9:10 ratio. 9:10 and 9/10. All right, seals to elephants. Seals is 10, elephants is 12, so that's a 10:12 ratio. 10:12 with a colon and 10/12 as a fraction. And the final one that I'm doing is elephants and lions. So elephants was 12, lions was 9. So that's a 12:9 ratio. 12:9 with the colon and then 12/9. Okay, now number 6, we're going to come up with 3 equivalent ratios for the given ratio. Equivalent, guys, not the different ways to write it. We've got to figure out an equivalent ratio. So if I multiplied 4 and 3 both by 2, I would get 8/6. 8/6 is an equivalent ratio. All right, if I double it, let's triple it. So then I get 12/9 is an equivalent ratio. Let's just multiply it by 5 because 5s are easy. 5 times 4 gives me 20, and 3 times 5 gives me 15. You can have many different ones as long as they're equivalent. You can check that they're equivalent by cross multiplying. So 6 times 4 is 24, 3 times 8 is 24. These would be equivalent. So 12/14, what's an equivalent ratio to that? Well, I can reduce it by dividing by 2, which gives me 6/7. Okay. Then I could double it to give me 24/28. And also I could multiply it by 3 and get 36/42. Okay, 6/9. Hold on. Okay, so the last one that we're going to do is 6/9, which reduces to 2/3. I could also double 6/9, which would give me 12/18. And then, heck, why don't we triple it? Which would be 18/27. Okay. All right, the ratio of cats to dogs. Okay, so 9 through 11, we want to do the same kind of thing as we did from 6 to 8. So I need to find equivalent ratios. So we have 3 to 4. If I double it, I have 6 to 8. If I triple it, I have 9 to 12. Then let's multiply it by 5. 5 to 20. Okay, ratio rainy days to sunny days. It's been kind of sunny here lately, so our rainy days would be smaller, but let's double it. We would get 10/14. If I times it by 5, I would get 25/35. And I times it by 10, I would get 50/70. All right, the ratio of protein to fiber in a granola bar is 9 grams of protein to 2 grams of fiber. So if I had 2 granola bars, I would have 18 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. If I had 3 granola bars, I would have 27 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber. And then say in that week I had 10 granola bars, I would have consumed 90 grams of protein and 20 grams of fiber. Okay? And we did this one yesterday as a class, so do you remember? If you watched the video, we compared clownfish to angelfish to goldfish. Okay? We knew our ratio was 5 to 4 to 3. This is a triple ratio. And we need to know if we have 60 clownfish. So we talked about this, about what do you do to 5 to get to 60? What did I do to 5 to get to 60? Well, I multiplied it by 12. So if I multiply that by 12, again, everything needs to be multiplied by 12. 4 times 12 gives me 48. And 3 times 12 gives me 36. So I would have 48 angelfish. And I would have 36 goldfish. Okay. So today's today's classwork that we're going to do for our notes is a ratio table, our ratio tables. So get out the page that looks like this, and we're going to talk about this today. So we're talking about a gum packs. So looking at ratio tables is really helpful to kind of see the broad picture of how things work. It just kind of gives you kind of a visual representation of what all kind of equivalent ratios there are. So chew gum packs contain 22 sticks. Use the following ratio tables to find how many sticks there are in a different number of packs. So we're going to try to find 8 packs here. That's what my goal is. So they've given us numbers to try to get there. Okay? So if I have 1 pack, it's 22. 2 packs would be 44. And I know that because I doubled. So think 1 plus 1 gives me 2. Well, 22 plus 22 gives me 44. Okay? Then I have 3. Okay? So 3 packs would give me 66. And I can think of this as if I tripled this. So if I multiplied 1 by 3, I get 3. And 22 by 3, I get 66. Also, you can look at it and say, well, 2 plus 1 gives me 3, and 44 plus 22 gives me 6. So that's 2 ways to solve that. Okay, and then 4. Well, I can say I can quadruple this, meaning times that by 4. So if I times that by 4, I would get 88. Or I can look and say, oh, if I double 2, I get 4. Double 44, I get 88. Or another way, you can look at 3, and 3 plus 1 gives me 4. So 66 plus 22 gives me 88. Now we got to figure out what this 8 is. So I can look and say, oh, well, 1 times 8 gives me 8. So 22 times 8 gives me 176. Or I can say 2 times 4 gives me 8. And 44 times 4 gives me 176. 2 ways. I can also look at it and say, well, 4 times 2 gives me 8. And 88 times 2 gives me 176. I can also make it one more way and think of it like this, with adding, not even multiplying. If I had these, I can add them up. So if I know that 4 plus 3 plus 1 equals 8, then I can take down what I have here. So 88 plus 66 plus 22 gives me 176. So do you see that there's several different ways to solve the same problem? So we came up with 4 different ways. You could also say that, oh, well, 4 plus 4 gives me 8. And 88 plus 88 gives me 176. Same thing as doubling, same thing as multiplying, but say you wanted to add them up. You can add them up that way. All right, so let's look at our next. So there are 176 sticks. So let's look at our next one. Now we need to figure out 6 packs. So we already have some information given to us. So we need to figure out what 2 packs is, or 2 packs are, and that information is already given to me. So all I have to do is look up, and oh, that was 44. How many are in 3 packs? Oh, well, that's 66. The pack size doesn't change. Now I've got to figure out what 6 is. So I can come and say, well, 1 times 6 gives me 6, and 22 times 6 gives me 132. Okay, that's one way. Another way you can do it is sitting there going, oh, well, 2 times 3. Okay, that's kind of hard to read, so give me one moment. Change up my color there. 2 times 3 gives me 6, and 44 times 3. So if I times 3 to the bottom, I must times 3 to the top, which gives me 132. So that's 2 ways to solve it. Here's our third way. You can sit there and go, oh, 3 times 2 gives me 6, and 66 times 2 gives me 132. And again, if you didn't want to do the multiplying across, you could have added and said, oh, well, 3 plus 3 equals 6. So 66, because 66 is under 3, plus 66 equals 132. One way. You can even, oh, sorry, the little deer thing is covering it. You could have even said, well, oh, Miss Delcambre, well, 3 plus 1 plus, or 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 6. So 66 plus 44 plus 22 equals 132. So again, 5 different ways to solve it, but I'm still getting 132 at the end. Still getting 132 at the end. All right, so my next one. So I need to find, so this was 132. 15 packs. But I need to figure out what 10 and 5 are before I can figure out what 15 is. You don't have to, but we are going to do this. So how did I go from 1 to 10? Well, I multiplied by 10. So I multiplied 1 by 10 to get me 10. 22 by 10, I get 220. Okay. Now, what I did on this one, there's 2 ways you can get 5. I'm going to do it the way that I think is easy. Well, I could go from 10 to 5 by dividing by 2. Then I can take this 220 and divide it by 2, and I get 110. You could have also got 5 by going from 1 multiplying by 5, and that gives me 5, and 22 times 5, and that gives me 110. Now, I have to come up with 15. Now, if I use what I have already, I can figure out what 15 is. So, I know that 10 plus 5 equals 15. So if I had 10 packs and I add 5 packs, I have 15 packs. Well, 10 packs have 220 sticks of gum, plus, well, this 5 pack has 110 pieces of gum. If I add those, I get 330. So that would be 330 sticks of gum. However, you could have did this other way. You could have, you ready? Multiplied this 1 by 15 to get to 15, and 22 times 15 to get 330. Another way that you could have done this is you could have gone, oh, well, 5 times 3 gives me 15. 110 times 3 gives me 133. I'm sorry, 330. So that's 1, 2, 3 different ways. My sticks will still be 330 sticks of gum. Okay? And the last one that we have here, we need to find 9 packs and 11 packs. So I'm going to just move this. I'm going to put 9 and 11 right here, because you could do this several different ways. And I'm going to show you the basic way that will work every single time. So if you have your unit rate, multiply this 1 by 9 to give me 9, and 22 by 9, and I get 198. Okay, I can multiply, looking at the next one, I can go from 1 to 11 by multiplying 1 by 11. Come over here. Oh, sorry. My little arrow needs to take a detour. So if I multiply that 1 by 11, I would get 11. And then if I use that 22 and times it by 11, I get 242. Okay. There's another way that I could have solved this problem. If I found one number up here, and that number was 10. So if I found 10, I wouldn't have to multiply. I'll show you why. How can I get 9 from 10? Well, 10 was 220. So then I take 10 minus 1 gives me 9. I know 10 had 220. I know 1 had 22. I subtract them and I get 198. It will still work to find 11. Again, I need 10, but then instead of subtracting 1, I'm adding 1. And I get 9. I get 11. 10 is 220 plus 22 gives me 242. Two separate ways of doing it. I either add my packs or subtract my packs and then find my sticks, or I'm multiplying my packs by my amount of how many I need to get the amount of sticks I need. So for a 9 pack, you would have 198 sticks of gum, and for 11 pack, you would have 242 sticks of gum. Okay? So make sure you fold those and you put those into your notes. Okay? Because this is going to help us a whole lot when we get to proportions and setting up if things are proportional, setting up rates, and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to minimize here. See, maybe I have my brain pop back on. Nope, my brain pop must have gone away. Okay, so my student portal's running a little slow today. Let's see, what's on this one? Okay. Let me log back in through student portal. Hopefully it remembers my password. There we go. Now we're logged in. Okay, in your Google Classroom, your homework for tonight is just like the multiplication division workout sheet that we did, like the notes, and you're filling in those ratio tables. System's running a little slow today, so let me go to my middle block, go to the classwork, and it's right here. All right, the 7.1 ratio tables. You're going to click on there, and instead of gums and packs and sticks of gum, you're dealing with candies and bags. So remember, our packs were 1 up at the top. Well, candies, that 1, the unit rate of 1 is at the bottom. Same rules apply. They're just flip-flopped around. Okay. I've got about a minute or so on the Brain Pop video that we'll watch. Hopefully it will go through, and then we will be done for the day. Okay, ratio. Okay, so we've got about a minute and 45 seconds for the video.
Ugh, what's that smell? Shouldn't you be diluting this stuff? I guess we're lucky the floor's still here. Dear Tim and Moby, can you explain ratios and when we should use them? From Nanellen. Well, Moby should have used a ratio to make his cleaning solution. A ratio compares 2 quantities by division. They come in handy when you want to compare a part of something to the whole. When you see instructions like 1 part floor cleaner to 10 parts water, you know the ratio is involved. In the case of the cleaning solution, it's the parts floor cleaner divided by the parts water. Or, as we say in ratio land, 1 to 10. Parts is just a placeholder unit. If you use 1 cup of cleanser, you'd use 10 cups of water. 1 gallon of cleanser, 10 gallons of water. You can write a ratio in 3 ways. All of these forms signify the ratio 1 to 10. We can write another ratio that compares the total number of squares on this floor to the number of black squares. There are 48 squares in total, and 24 of them are black. That's a ratio of 48 to 24. Like a fraction, this ratio can be simplified to 2 to 1. So, for every 2 squares on the floor, 1 is black. Make sense? Great. I'll go get some water to dilute this cleaning solution. Oh, slippery, huh? Well, thanks for the warning. I'll be sure to watch my step.
All right, so go ahead and make sure that you go to your Google Classroom and do the ratio table assignment for tonight for homework. Make sure that builder is done and turned in, because it's due tomorrow, guys. Make sure you get all this stuff done. New 9 weeks, so we want to make sure we're getting everything up to date and keeping up with all of our assignments. So have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.